Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early here at YouTube's Michael Datcher channel at 4:45 a.m. and goes until 5 a.m. The show's topic today is we're talking about greatness and productivity. What is the connection between greatness and productivity? Having a greatness mindset and also doing the work of the your due diligence to make greatness a reality. So thanks for being here. If you are new to the show, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy, more productive through joy, in many ways by using story to change our story, to rewrite that story, and to then create the type of narrative we want to have for our life, then go about making that narrative manifest. Really, really interesting approaches you'll see as you reach out to us. So, for those of you who are new to the show, again, we air each. Allow me to say a few words about myself first. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called My People, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where, of course, Michael Brown was murdered, and the conflagration that ensued there as well. I am also the president of the board of directors at the World Stage, a 501c3 nonprofit in LA's Crenshaw district. We are a jazz and literature venue, training ground, workshops, 7 days a week of workshops and performances, really powerful for adults and children, just an extraordinary organization. Go to theworldstage.org to learn more about that. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature. I am also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where Michael Brown was murdered, and the conflagration that ensued there as well. In the backdrop, that's me and my daughter when she was just a little tiny baby. I'm actually in her room right now because she occupied Daddy's office. And so what she would do from time, taking over the entire house. But she wanted to be in Daddy's office, so I came back to her room. So just reflecting back on our time there. There we are. I think I was in, just reading, I think. She was a tiny baby. Yeah, and that's a part of what we're having today's discussion about greatness. What motivates you to greatness? So for me, my children motivate me to greatness. Really wanted to be an exemplar of greatness, about the possibilities for them. Because kids, if you have kids, you know this to be true. Kids tend to learn by observation what they see. So I know just by being great and exemplifying greatness, I have a better opportunity to have my kids be great as well. So let's dive in. In the morning show, we like to also touch into the idea of framing our day before our day has a chance to frame us. At times we will wake up with trouble on our mind, and that trouble follows us throughout our day, and it has a way of derailing us from our true greatness, for sure, but also our kind of day-to-day effectiveness. Because when you're down, depressed, or just overwhelmed by problems, it's really hard to be your highest self. So we know that's true for all people, but especially true for folks who are living outside the box, like entrepreneurs, job creators in that way. Because we deal with much more stress than probably, I shouldn't say much more stress, because people's lives can be very stressful, but we deal with a different type of stress when you are the boss. Being the boss is complicated, right? And so we help people to deal with that stress because that's a major lifestyle impactor, stress. When you have trouble in your mind, your body responds with dis-ease, literally. Stress, as we know, is a killer. It creates heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure. It can be very, very challenging. So we encourage people to use a ritual. Ritual can be defined as doing the same thing at around the same time. Let me give you my brief morning ritual as sort of as an exemplar. So in the mornings I wake up at 3:30 a.m. And my daughter actually woke up at 4 today, which is crazy. My baby girl, my oldest daughter, is in Ethiopia right now. but my baby girl woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So of course that I went to, of course, hang out with Dad in the office. So now she's occupying Daddy's office. So I stepped around the corner to hop in her room for a second. And so I get up at 3:30. I read a couple of spiritual business books. I do our show right now at 4:45. At 5, I work on my current novel. At sunrise, I go out to the beach, right? I meditate, pray, do yoga, come back, work on my current book for a while longer, then go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's Pier. Then run all the way back here to Gold's Gym to get my workout in, get my buff on. So guys, by 10:30 or so, I'm feeling amazing. My body's being flooded with endorphins. And that endorphin release gives me a sense of euphoria that I can then leverage to move myself towards my goals and objectives. We're not saying do what I do, we're saying do what you do, and use that particular ritual as a thing that you can lean upon. So today, for example, I'm reading 3 books. One is called The Nag Hammadi Reader, which is kind of a compendium of ancient literature, spiritual scriptures. I'm reading a book called Owning the Moment, which is about being in the moment and also owning it. I'm reading a book called Cash in the Flash, which is kind of a book about entrepreneurs and spirituality. From those 3 books, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, living truth and loving people, manifest my greatness, right? So from that, I think about that, I contemplate that throughout my day, then I create the morning and afternoon shows based upon that idea. So today we're talking about greatness and productivity, right? So let's dive in. Go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. Let's go. So point 1 is you want to have greatness as a goal. I'm a professor of English, so at times students who are millennials and folks who are the upcoming generation aren't always comfortable talking about being great or being openly ambitious because it makes them stand out, and for various reasons, including the import of social media, they are loathed to be judged. And so there's not much talk about greatness. So I talk to them about greatness all the time, right? Having that as a mindset, which goes to the point 2. Once being great, greatness is a mindset. You want to do the foundational work to set the stage. So we talked about briefly having a morning ritual. That for me is the most important step, really concretizing that every day, having a way to undergird the self, which goes right into point 3. As you prepare by having that ritual, then you have to do the actual work. You have to make the phone calls, finish the projects. You have to actually follow through. And I know for me, for many entrepreneurs, many people, that's an issue. It's the follow through. We have these great ideas that we don't always follow through. When you have great follow through, greatness will follow. Well, I like to write that down. When you have a great follow through, greatness will follow. I love that. That's a free one just for you. When you have great follow through, greatness will follow. And that's point 3. You have to close the deal. And you have to close. That's the key. Is get to the yes. So that's it for today's show. Boom goes the dynamite. We air each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon. Look for me on the book tour for my book, Americas, which I'm on now. I'm sure I'll be coming to a town near you, so look for local press and social media. All right. Until then, until this afternoon at 4:45 p.m., let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.